Welcome to World Alert Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Breaking news. An ambitious Chinese billionaire has just unveiled a plan that could reshape the map. A colossal canal carved straight through the heart of Nicaragua, aiming to rival and perhaps even surpass the legendary Panama Canal, a waterway that has defined global shipping for over a century. The price tag for this audacious vision? A staggering $50 billion, an investment on a scale rarely seen in modern history. The promise is even bigger: to transform global trade forever, opening up new routes and possibilities for the world's largest ships. Suddenly, a centuries-old dream was back on the table. This time, not just as a fantasy, but with real money, international attention, and serious political muscle behind it. The plan? A 172-mile waterway, slicing across Nicaragua, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, an engineering feat of epic proportions. This canal would be designed for ships so massive, so heavy with cargo, that even the expanded Panama Canal can't handle them. At the center of it all stood Wang Jing, a little-known Chinese telecom tycoon, now thrust into the global spotlight. Standing beside Nicaragua's president, he promised a new era of prosperity, jobs, and international relevance for the small Central American nation. The Nicaragua Grand Canal would be the largest civil engineering project in human history, dwarfing even the Panama Canal in scale and ambition. Supporters claimed it would lift Nicaragua out of poverty, transforming it into a logistics powerhouse and a vital link in the global supply chain. The world watched in a mix of awe, curiosity, and skepticism, as news outlets buzzed with speculation and debate. Was this bold vision truly possible, or just a billionaire's fantasy destined to remain a dream? The Nicaraguan government wasted no time granting Wang's company, HKND, a sweeping 50-year concession with the right to renew for another half-century, effectively handing over the nation's future to a foreign investor. Shipping giants around the world began to imagine bypassing Panama's notorious bottleneck, dreaming of slashed costs and faster transit times. The potential to revolutionize global shipping was suddenly within reach, with the promise of more efficient trade and economic growth. Economists predicted a seismic shift in global trade routes with ripple effects that could reshape economies far beyond Central America. But enormous questions loomed. Could such a massive project really be built, given the technical, financial, and environmental challenges? Who truly stood behind Wang Jing and his billions? Was this a solo gamble, or was there hidden support from powerful interests in China? And what would be the true cost for Nicaragua's people and its fragile environment? Would the benefits outweigh the risks, or would the nation pay a heavy price? The stage was set for a high-stakes drama, one that would test the limits of ambition, power, and the very destiny of a nation at the crossroads of history. As the world held its breath, the first chapter of this extraordinary saga began to unfold. At the center was Wang Jing, a telecom billionaire with no track record in mega infrastructure. He insisted the project was private, not a front for China, and dazzled audiences with visions of a new Nicaragua. The plan went far beyond a canal, 2 deep-water ports, a new airport, free trade zones, resorts, and a railway. HKND would build and control an entire economic ecosystem. The canal itself would dwarf Panama's, built for the world's largest ships. The vision Nicaragua as the 21st century superhighway of global trade, but doubts grew. Where would $50 billion come from? Wang's fortune was a fraction of that. Critics questioned his lack of experience and vague funding sources. Was he a genius, or just a charismatic salesman with an impossible dream? The world wondered if Nicaragua's future was being built on hope or on sand. The canal's core promise: solve the bottleneck of modern shipping. Megaships, too big for Panama, needed a new route between oceans. The Nicaraguan canal would be wide and deep enough for any vessel, creating a direct expressway for global trade. Shipping companies saw faster transit, lower costs, and new efficiencies. The ripple effect: cheaper goods, more exports, and a shakeup of global supply chains. Competition with Panama would drive down tolls and redraw shipping maps. Backers claimed the canal could capture 5% of world trade, shifting billions in revenue. The vision: a new center of gravity for global logistics, fueling a fresh wave of globalization. But could this promise be delivered, or was it just a seductive fantasy? The stakes for world commerce had never been higher. For Nicaragua, the canal was sold as a national salvation. Decades of poverty and instability made the $50 billion project electrifying. The government promised tens of thousands of jobs, new skills, and a doubling of GDP. Ports, airports, and free trade zones would transform the economy. The vision knew schools, hospitals, and infrastructure funded by canal revenues. For many, it was a lifeline, a chance to escape hardship and build a better future. The canal became a symbol of hope and pride, a ticket to global relevance. But behind the optimism, doubts lingered about who would truly benefit. Was this a path to prosperity, or just another broken promise? The canal's announcement sent shockwaves through the halls of power in both Washington and Beijing, igniting a flurry of urgent meetings and heated debates. Suddenly, the balance of influence in the Western Hemisphere was up for grabs. For over a century, the United States had dominated Central America, with the Panama Canal standing as its crowning achievement, a symbol of American engineering and strategic might. The canal not only connected oceans but also cemented U.S. authority in the region. Now, a bold new project, a Chinese-backed canal through Nicaragua, threatened to upend that established order, raising questions about who would control the gateway between the Atlantic and Pacific. Wang Jing, the enigmatic Chinese billionaire behind the project, insisted it was purely commercial. Yet, skepticism ran deep. Many suspected hidden motives, and few in the West took his assurances at face value. For China, the canal represented more than just a shortcut for cargo ships. It promised secure trade routes, a strategic foothold near U.S. shores, and a chance to reshape global commerce in its favor. The project fit perfectly into China's sweeping Belt and Road ambitions, expanding its influence into America's backyard and signaling its arrival as a global superpower willing to challenge old boundaries. The United States watched with growing unease, worried not just about economic competition, but also about the potential for Chinese military presence so close to home. The canal's construction raised alarms in the Pentagon and beyond. Meanwhile, Nicaragua saw an unprecedented opportunity. By playing the world's superpowers against each other, the small nation hoped to attract investment, create jobs, and gain leverage on the global stage. President Ortega's government eagerly welcomed Chinese investment, seeing it as a path to greater independence from U.S. pressure and a chance to transform Nicaragua's future. The canal project quickly became a pawn in a high-stakes global chess match, China seeking to expand its power, the U.S. determined to defend its turf, and Nicaragua gambling for a better future amid the rivalry. The stakes were not just geopolitical and economic, but also deeply personal for the people living along the proposed canal route, whose lives and livelihoods hung in the balance. The world's superpowers were now locked in a tense contest over the destiny of a tiny nation, one that could reshape the future of the entire region. As the government celebrated, opposition exploded. The canal's route threatened to displace 120,000 people, farmers, indigenous communities, and families. Law 840 gave HKND sweeping powers to seize land, sparking outrage and protests. Critics called it a modern colonial deal, selling out sovereignty for vague promises. Environmentalists warned of disaster. The canal would cut through Lake Nicaragua, risking water contamination and ecosystem collapse. The nation split. Some saw hope, others saw ruin. The project exposed deep rifts, development versus rights, ambition versus justice. For many, the canal was not a dream, but a nightmare imposed from above. Nicaragua was at war with itself over its future. To grasp Nicaragua's ambition, look south to the Panama Canal, a century-old marvel, symbol of American power and global trade. Panama's recent expansion allowed bigger ships but not the largest. Nicaragua's plan, a wider sea-level canal for the supertankers of tomorrow, but Panama had a proven track record, billions in revenue, and a shorter, easier route. Nicaragua faced a 172-mile challenge, environmental risks, and a $50 billion price tag. Would enough ships use it? Could it ever pay off? Panama's legacy was secure. Nicaragua's was a massive gamble. The comparison highlighted the risks proven success versus untested ambition. Could Nicaragua outdo its rival, or was it chasing an impossible dream? The world watched, skeptical but fascinated. Opposition wasn't just about land or the environment, it was about sovereignty. Law 840 gave HKND a century-long concession, tax exemptions, and the right to seize land nationwide. Many saw this as selling the country to a foreign company, undermining property rights and democracy. Farmers and indigenous groups led mass protests, demanding repeal and respect for the Constitution. The canal became a symbol of resistance against authoritarianism and foreign control. The government cracked down, but the movement grew. The project deepened social divisions and eroded trust in institutions. Was the canal a path to prosperity, or a deal that put the republic up for sale? For many, The answer was clear: the price was too high. The dream of a Nicaraguan canal is centuries old, a ghost haunting the nation since the Spanish conquest. This vision has lingered in the minds of many, a tantalizing possibility that could transform the country's fortunes and reshape global trade routes. For years, Nicaragua seemed the likely site, but politics and fate favored Panama. The decision to build the Panama Canal instead left Nicaragua with a sense of what might have been, a missed opportunity that still echoes through its history. Wang Jing's project was the boldest attempt yet, backed by China and big promises. It was a venture that promised to bring prosperity and international attention to Nicaragua, with hopes of economic revival and global significance. For a moment it felt real. Ground was broken, offices opened, and hope soared. The air was filled with optimism, and the people of Nicaragua dared to dream of a brighter future. Then, disaster struck. Wang's fortune collapsed in China's stock crash, and funding vanished. The financial turmoil in China sent shockwaves across the globe, and the ambitious project was left teetering on the brink of collapse. Construction halted, offices closed, and the project faded into silence. The bustling activity that once filled the site was replaced by an eerie stillness, a stark reminder of dreams unfulfilled. By 2018, the canal was dead, a phantom once more. Nature began to reclaim the land, erasing the traces of human ambition and leaving behind only whispers of what could have been. The legal concession lingers, but the dream is gone. The paperwork remains, a testament to the grand plans that never came to fruition, a reminder of promises unkept. Activists see victory, but scars remain. Political divisions, broken trust, and communities left in limbo. The project's failure has left a deep impact, sowing seeds of discord and uncertainty among the people. The story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of mega-projects and unchecked ambition. It serves as a reminder that not all grand visions are destined to succeed, and the cost of failure can be profound. Grand dreams can turn to dust, leaving only heartbreak and the echoes of what might have been. The rusting machinery and empty trenches stand as silent witnesses to the dreams that once soared high. Nicaragua's canal remains unbuilt, a lesson for the world. It is a story that highlights the complexities and challenges of turning dreams into reality, a narrative that continues to resonate globally. The nation moves on, wiser, but still haunted by what could have been. The people of Nicaragua continue their journey, carrying with them the lessons of the past, as they look towards a future yet to be written.